Today we will compare the 10 best-selling cars of India. The Tiago, Nano, Alto, Kwid, Celerio, WagonR, KUV100 which Mahindra prefers to call 100, Grand i10, Ignis and Swift. The comparison will also act as a car buying guide, especially for the first-time car buyers. So if you know anybody who is thinking of buying a new car below Rs 9 lakhs, you could pass this clip have around 5 variant of each car, and many people are confused about which variant of the car to buy. This comparison will save their money and also save their life because a base version of most cars have some of the worst safety features. The smaller car market can be split into 3 categories. The entry-level cars costing below Rs 5 lakhs, consisting of cars like Nano, Alto, and Kwid. The mid-segment costing between 5 and 6 lakhs, consisting of cars like Celerio, Tiago, WagonR and KUV100. And the upper segment costing between 6 and 9 lakhs, consisting of cars like Grand i10, Swift and Ignis. Many a time these car makers offer cheaper versions of their cars to break into the lower segment. For example, Tiago is offering a base version which is shockingly priced below the full option Nano. But buying such a vehicle would be of no use because there will be none of the features that everybody looks for in the car of their choice. If the price is too expensive, it is always better to buy the full option car from a lower segment because the purpose of the car is for the whole family to travel safely and in comfort. The base variant and full option variant of all the companies are completely different cars. Example: the base variants have smaller wheel width and wheel size. The base variety will have no power windows, no central lock, no alloy wheels, no airbags, no ABS, no EBD, no rear defogger, poor audio system features and also no AC. So always buy the full option car. After all, a car will last at least 10 years, so look at the car as a long-term investment and not as a short-term expense. Which fuel car to buy? Petrol, diesel, CNG, LPG or electric car? Do not buy diesel vehicles from today onwards. The government of India has made up its mind and is committed to the international cooperation to ban diesel vehicles not only in India but all over the world by the year 2025. So there is a very high chance of the diesel vehicle you buy today could have zero resale value in the next 7 to 10 years. Even Renault company has stopped investment in diesel vehicle and has said it doesn't make sense to develop diesel vehicles anymore. It is always better to buy a CNG vehicle because such vehicles are bi-fuel and can take petrol as well as CNG. CNG vehicles not only have 30 to 50% extra mileage than petrol vehicles, but the CNG fuel itself is almost 50% cheaper than petrol. Thus CNG vehicles are about 90% cheaper in operating expenses than petrol vehicles. In time, if petrol too becomes obsolete, then these cars can still be fueled by CNG. Never buy cars with LPG. LPG is a very dangerous fuel. It is much more dangerous than petrol. LPG gas is completely different than CNG and should not be used in cars because any leakage can be fatal. On the other hand, CNG is the safest gas because the gas travels upwards. LPG travels downwards like petrol and stays down on the ground, like a pool of invisible fuel. Electric cars have the least operating expense. They have not been compared in this review because of 2 reasons. A. To keep this as a petrol and CNG car review, and B. The electric vehicles will be compared by us once the Tiago electric car is launched. If you have any specific petrol car that needs to be compared to Tiago electric and E20, please mention it in the comments. Why electric cars are not popular in India? And the answer is Mahindra's refusal to install intercity and interstate charging stations. Most people in India buy a car to take it out of town on weekends. Even those who buy a car for daily commute also prefer to have an option to take the car out of town on weekends. Especially so if the car cost above Rs 5 lakhs. With the non-existence of charging stations between cities and states, it is not possible to take any electric car beyond 70 kilometers. Thus the majority of the car buyers do not consider electric cars. Only the people who are deeply concerned about the environment and feel deeply to strengthen India's economy have bought electric cars in India. But the situation will change drastically over the next decade. What is common for all the cars? It is very refreshing to find out that the top-end variants of all the 10 cars in the comparison had a lot of common features. All of the features are much advanced from what was available just 5 years ago. The 11 common features are: keyless entry, central locking, front power windows, tilt steering, power steering, air conditioner, average audio system with Bluetooth, USB and AUX connectivity, steering mounted audio, driver seatbelt, fog lamps in all except for Alto. 8 of the 10 cars compared had AMT. Only KUV and Swift did not have AMT. In this comparison we can see that the Nano has the lowest price but Tiago is the best value for money car. CNG cars are bi-fuel cars. Meaning the car uses petrol as well as CNG and switch between them easily. CNG has better mileage and is cheaper, double benefit. Those who have petrol vehicle can easily get it converted to CNG. It voids the vehicle warranty, but the warranty doesn't mean much after the first 3 to 6 months anyway. Never buy diesel cars from today onwards. Diesel as a fuel is on its way out and in 10 years it will have zero resale value. Renault has already announced that it doesn't make sense working with diesel engines. Most car in this list have AMT. Maruti prefers to call it AGS. KUV100 and Swift do not have AMT, but Mahindra and Maruti too are planning to introduce AMT version of KUV and Swift because of public demand. AMT is the better and advanced transmission and it is also very relaxing for drivers. It is also safer and avoids rollbacks on hill or flyovers. Most AMT vehicles also have manual transmission option. Generally people who drive automatic transmission do not come back to manual transmission. Longer vehicles are better because they have more space all around and longer length also translates into longer wheelbase. But shorter vehicles are easy to park, especially the Nano. Many vehicles say they can seat 5 in spite of their width falling below 1,600 mm. Cars like Alto, Kwid and WagonR are nothing but 4-seater car while a 5th passenger can be accommodated. KUV100 pleasantly surprises with 6 seating ability with 3 in the front. Taller vehicles like Wagon-R are quite ugly and look boxy and more like a van. Getting in tall vehicles are a little easier, but that is about it. The Kwid and Alto are shorter of the 10 and shorter vehicles look better than taller vehicles. Thus these 2 cars have a lot of appeal in their price bracket. There are many reputed car review experts who say higher ground clearance is a disadvantage because it increases body roll while taking corners. They do this to promote other competing vehicle. High ground clearance is a big relief in tackling higher speed humps and potholes. Only 3 of the 10 vehicles touch 180 mm. Take the Max GC available, especially if the roads you take are having potholes. Families who plan to take Nano on weekend trips will do better if they can put in a roof rack. People hate the Ignis because of its weird rear, which is designed to accommodate more luggage. Kwid claims an impressive 300 liters, even bigger than KUV100 in spite of having the shortest width and not being the longest. Lighter cars are better, but Kwid is way too light for our liking. Kwid could be using a huge amount of plastic in the car because there is no way that a 3-cylinder car can weigh less than 700 kilograms. Mahindra KUV100, in spite of being the heaviest, gives decent mileage of 18. Bigger the wheelbase, the better is the riding quality of the car. Ignis has the longest distance between the front and rear wheels. Swift is a very close second. Next comes the Celerio and Grand i10. Ignis, KUV and Swift have 15 inches wheels. This spec is also one of the single best indicator of a good solid car having excellent drive and handling quality. Fatter wheels have more stability during higher speeds and handle well during braking. They are more expensive than thinner wheel but are very much safer to have. In turning radius, there is no car in the world that can come close to Nano at 4 meters. Wagon-R and Alto are the next in line, both of which are more than half a meter away at 4.6. Tiago, Alto, Grand i10 and Swift, all three of them can travel over 800 kilometers with a full tank of petrol. The Nano E-Max, which is CNG, comes very close to all of them. CNG Alto has the highest range. The best thing about range is that there will be fewer visits to the petrol pump for refill through the month. Nano has the best CNG mileage and also the best combined mileage of CNG and petrol. But Alto has a petrol tank that is 11 liters bigger and thus can travel further. Celerio comes in third in mileage department and then Wagon-R. KUV is not too bad if its weight and engine size are considered. Moreover, petrol cars have the option to add a CNG fuel kit and save tons of money. Airbags, ABS and EBD. How seriously a company take its car can be easily assessed in this section. Why would you want to put your money where the car maker does not want to put his money? Any car that gets 4 straight Y can be considered a safer car. It's amusing to see in the brochure the car is shown with single airbag for Kwid and dual airbags for Wagon-R when they do not exist in the car. It is available as option for these cars and which will add to the price tag. Again, why would you want to spend money on the car if the car maker himself doesn't want to put money on it? Steering-mounted audio controls provide ease of operating the audio system. Cars with good suspension will keep the driver fresh over long drive, especially over bad roads. Although not many people in India use it, rear seat belts are good safety feature. Alto, Kwid and WagonR are called 5-seaters, but in truth only 4 adults can sit comfortably. Many more can be accommodated uncomfortably. Driver seat adjustability is a must for drivers who are short in height because otherwise they will not be able to see the road properly. Not a huge deal breaker, but rear power windows is a good option to have. Nano, in spite of being the shortest, is full of space inside. Alto, Kwid and WagonR have the worst rear space and legroom. Cup holders are not a big deal and any number of them can be installed as they are one of the cheapest accessories to install after purchasing the car. GPS navigation is a must for every car and many small car makers are hesitant to provide it. Kwid has been the only entry-level car maker to provide it. More so because the navigation display doubles up as the display for the reverse camera. This is useful in parking, but it is also a very good safety feature. Rear parking sensor is also very good feature for parking the car, especially for new car drivers. Creep function is a must-have for all cars. Do not buy a car that does not have creep function. Rolling backwards on a slope, without creep, is very dangerous and all modern cars have creep function to overcome it. Dashboard is one of the most important part of the car, which takes the brunt of the hot sun, and it should be strong enough to withstand the heat. It should be dark so that the dash is not reflected in the windshield. But at the same time the dashboard should be appealing to the eye. Addition of navigation screen and digital speedometer enhances the look of the dashboard. Kwid's fake mileage claim of 25 kmpl. The biggest shocker in this review was Kwid. There is no doubt that Kwid has a very refreshing look in the small car segment with its bold and SUV-like looks, enormous boot space and its claimed, fake, mileage of 25 km per liter. In truth, many Kwid owners complained of getting below 10 km per liter mileage. How can an international car maker have double-digit difference between its RI mileage and actual mileage? To see such complaints about Kwid, Google search problems with Kwid mileage. Kwid also had issues with unusually loud engine noise, problems with braking and the vehicle refusing to start at signal lights. Kwid also does not have the creep function, for which the company tamely reported that customer survey showed that people did not like the creep function. Seriously? Times of India had reported that the company has decided to halt production till this problem was rectified. Renault has also taken down its board claiming 25 km per liter mileage for the Kwid from its website and brochures. Later on, Renault issued statement that Times of India was wrong and no production will be halted. It's amusing to see a company that shouted from the rooftop of having the world's best petrol car mileage, 25 km per liter, trying to hide its face. Renault has been caught cheating elsewhere too. Renault was recently caught cheating in diesel emission norms too, so this is not very unusual behavior from Renault. Today Kwid's super mileage is no more a claim by Kwid, other than some obviously paid car review websites that boast of Kwid's unusual mileage. Plus points of Nano. Nano is unique. There is no other car in the world that can beat the Nano in many aspects. No car has yet topped the fuel economy of Nano. The manual version gives the best mileage in the world. The car has been reported to give mileage of 30 km per liter if driven at 70-80 km per hour speed. Nano has the smallest turning radius of 4 meters. It has one of the highest ground clearance. High ground clearance means it can easily negotiate unpaved roads. Nano can also travel on very narrow lanes. No other car in the world can do that. It is one of the few cars in the world which has rear engine drive, which gives the car excellent stability while accelerating and braking. In Nano it is not necessary to turn off the air conditioner while climbing steep hills or flyovers with 4 passengers. This is a big issue with small cars like Alto, WagonR, etc. With Nano, parking is possible in unimaginable places. The power windows of the Nano is quick, its air conditioning is one of the best among cars. Nano is also a great car to gift to a youngster because the parents can rest assured that their son will not be able to speed recklessly above 100 km/h and get into accidents. In case of accidents, the spare wheel kept in front also acts as a cushion in addition to the monocoque body of the car. The headlights of the Nano are brighter than other expensive cars, and if the fog lights are switched on, it gives excellent visibility even on roads without street lights. In India there are many streets without street lights, so fog lamps are a must for night driving other than for use in fog and heavy rain. Finally, the amount of room you have inside the Nano needs to be experienced to be believed. People were disappointed with Nano because they did not get what they expected in a normal car. It stopped selling because the car did not have quality seats, inferior dashboard, noisy engine, heavy vibrations from the engine, a micro fuel tank which was less than half of that of the Alto, having only one side rear view mirror, and can you imagine no boot space at all. Then something unfortunate happened. 3 to 6 Nano cars caught fire. Every Tom, Dick and Harry took the opportunity to take a jab at Nano. Nano was used liberally as the punching bag, it became the butt of jokes. The fire incident could have been created by its rivals to discourage people from buying the car. Tata could have taken out an advertisement to show its advantages versus Alto. It was only until the launch of Nano Gen X that Nano could get its self-respect back. In April 2016, Tata launched the Tiago and stupidly priced its space variant, at 3.20 lakhs, below the price of the full-option Nano, 3.30 lakhs. Since then the sale of Nano has been going down. But the fact is both vehicles are very different vehicles and have their own advantages and disadvantages. The Nano can go in the smallest of lanes which no other car can do. The cost of the Nano tire is cheaper by ₹500 than the cost of the Alto tire. If one were to change all 4 tires of the Nano, it will save ₹2,000 in comparison with the tires of the Alto. Similarly, expenses on replacing windshield wiper is 50% less than that of any other cars. Coming back to our comparison, Alto's plus point is its range on full tank of CNG and petrol. In fact, it is the only car that can break the 1,000 kilometer mark with a full tank of petrol and CNG. It still has a bigger petrol tank than Nano. Thus it can travel further and faster than a Nano without a refill. Thus its owner will have to travel fewer times to the petrol station every month than Nano or Kwid. Verdict: for cars below ₹5 lakhs, after comparing the advantages of Nano, Kwid and Alto, we can confidently say that Nano is the best option. So for those on a budget below 5 lakhs, there is absolutely no need to look at any other car than Nano. Verdict: for cars below ₹6 lakhs, we compared Celerio, Tiago, WagonR and KUV100, and the winners of this section are Tiago and KUV. This is a section of cars which have a difference of just 1 lakhs than the Nano segment. Tiago and KUV win because they have better safety, wheels, tires, audio system, and of course KUV's 6th seat option. There is a price difference of ₹60,000 between Tiago and KUV, with KUV being the more expensive of the two. This gives Tiago a very good advantage. But the mean and tough SUV-like stare of the KUV cannot be ignored easily. For cars below ₹9 lakhs, surprisingly the Tiago and KUV give a good fight to the i10, Swift and Ignis. These 5 cars are equally good. Ignis has the highest ground clearance among them. KUV is the widest and can seat 6. Tiago and Grand i10 have smaller 14-inch wheels while the rest 3 have 15-inch wheels. KUV and Swift have excellent stability with 185 mm wide tires. On a full tank, Swift comes second, in range, to the Alto only because Alto gets 250 km extra from its CNG tank. But among these 5 only Grand i10 has a rear camera which assists in parking. In such a close competition, the exterior looks can be used as a tiebreaker in which the Ignis and Grand i10 lose a little ground. Swift is priced ₹220,000 more than Tiago and KUV, which gives the Swift a clear disadvantage. In this comparison, Tiago comes out as the best car to have. Second comes KUV. And third is Swift. The Nano can be considered the best of the entry-level cars. All 4 of these cars have very different looks. If a person has a budget up to 9 lakhs, then Tiago or KUV100 is a good option to consider, and he still manages to save ₹3 lakhs with which he can buy a Nano.